tonight, Ghana Mourns as a special team of investigators is dispatched to comb through wreckage of deadly helicopter crash in a Dampia forest range that claimed 8 precious lives.
We had at work as a task force also as we are doing that to investigate what has happened.
We would also hear growing calls for an independent probe without the military.
Accident investigation should not be left to the airline or the ones who own the aircraft. No. It's a broader issue because the manufacturers of this aircraft will also be involved in the investigation. First of all, they would like to exonerate themselves.
We delve deeper into this and bring you latest from the crash site. What is there? What have the team, what has the team seen so far? We'll bring you all of that here on Top Story, brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies. Tonight, as the nation wraps itself in mourning, urgent questions hang in the air like a dark cloud, demanding answers about the tragic fate of the military helicopter that claimed 8 precious lives. A team of expert investigators is on the ground, meticulously sifting through the charred wreckage in the rugged Dampia forest range, searching for clues to unravel the mystery. It's been over a day since the Z-9 military helicopter carrying a high-powered ministerial delegation vanished from radar and crashed just kilometers from Obuasi, where they were bound for the launch of a flagship anti-galamsey program. The cause remains unknown, and government officials admit they still don't have answers. A deputy government spokesperson, Shamima Muslim, confirmed on the Super Morning Show that a full investigation is currently underway.
So government has been working closely with the families to ascertain how they would wish us to complete the processes and all the necessary memorials and funerals. So the planning committee is already hard at work as a task force also as we are doing that to investigate what has happened. I think a clear communication of what has happened also would ease the burden on the hearts of many. So we will communicate around the clock on various developments. But this is where we are, and there's not much we can other than to console each other with words, with counsel, especially for the spouses, the parents of our fallen combatants.
Meanwhile, pressure is mounting for a multi-stakeholder investigation into the crash rather than one led solely by the military itself. Now, the MPP, in a statement, has called for a thorough, transparent and swift probe. Policy think tank Imani is echoing that demand. Now, latest to weigh in is retired pilot Captain Michael Yao Foley, who insists the military should not be left to investigate itself.
What should concern the public is especially the relatives of the deceased and also the traveling public and all sympathizers is what is the cause of this accident. I saw something about the military investigating. Mm-hmm. The military's role is even minute in this process. They were the ones who owned the aircraft, the helicopter. Mm-hmm. They serviced it. They dispatched it. They chose the crew. So they are not the ones to investigate this accident in the broader sense. We have an independent accident investigation board, which hopefully by now should be going to the military and asking them, let us see the maintenance record of this helicopter. Let us see the training that you gave the crew. Tell us the plan you had for this flight. So accident investigation should not be left to the airline or the ones who own the aircraft. No. It's a broader issue because the manufacturers of this aircraft will also be involved in the investigation. First of all, they would like to exonerate themselves.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will affect their brand. Then also, civil aviation is in charge of all aviation in Ghana. So they are the ones who will hand over this investigation to the Independent Accident Investigation Board. So the military can do their thing, but we, the public, we are watching them because this is a national issue. This is my take on it, yes.
All right, this is still Top Story brought to you by Telecel Connecting Energies. Let's do more on this by speaking to retired pilot Captain Michael Ofori, who has 40 years as an international airline pilot. Captain, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Your point is that we cannot leave this investigation to the military. I'm sure you followed the team of investigators that has been dispatched to this particular crash site. Does it meet what you were expecting the state to do?
Oh, essentially, like I said, this is normal aviation practice. There is an independent investigative board that investigates aircraft accidents. The team of investigators you are talking about, I don't know the membership. If it is this independent accident investigation board, then it satisfies ICAO regulations. Of course, the military, and I think I read something about the presidential task force has been set up. They can do their thing. But when it comes to aircraft accident investigation, it is an independent board, not set up by the president, not set up by the military. They are an independent body. They are the ones who should conduct investigations, and their findings are authoritative.
So it means that now that we've not brought this independent body in, what then happens to the sort of findings that this investigative team that is at the site now will come up with?
You see, like I said earlier in the day, I think, we need to know the state of the aircraft. We need to know the condition of the weather at the time. We need to know the conversations on the flight deck. All this comes together to produce a credible result. Now, the military and the presidential task force, do they have the ability to retrieve the black box, to download them, to analyze the technical expertise? Without having the skills, the tools, and all, they can have the investigation of some sort, but it will not cover the whole requirements needed. Because accident investigations are meant to find out what happened, what lessons are learned, what lessons will be learned, not just for the operator, but the manufacturer of the aircraft and the general aviation body. This is what accident investigations are meant for.
So this takes more of an international approach.
Well, it will be led by the country in which the accident happened, is occurred. the manufacturer of the helicopter in this case will be involved, and then the state, that is Ghana, will also be involved. And the state is represented by the Civil Aviation Authority with the Accident Investigation Board spearheading it all.
So is this different from the Aircraft Investigative Department?
You mean the Department of Civil Aviation?
No, there's the Aircraft Investigative Department of the Armed Forces.
It is different. They can carry out the military would also like to know what happened. But it's the Civil Aviation Authority that oversees aircraft operations in Ghana. So the military cannot have their investigation and present that as a whole picture. No.
Okay.
Military operations come under civil aviation operations. The controllers, the radar controllers, all the controlling authorities are handled by civil aviation. Of course, the military also have their operations unit, definitely. But every aircraft that takes off and lands in Ghana or overflies the Ghanaian territory come under Ghana Civil Aviation Authority.
Do stay with me. Let me bring in our reporter, Emmanuel Bright Kweku, because he is the young man who was able to trek all the way with the team to get closer to the crash site to bring us details of what was happening in there. Emmanuel, just let's, on behalf of everybody here in Ghana, let's say congrats to you for that wonderful work you did yesterday. Now, just run us through how it was trekking from that community up there to try and get us the details you did before I bring in, Captain Paul Kojo.
All right. Samuel, in fact, I must confirm that the journey from even the town center itself to where the incident happened is not an easy task at all. It is one that is Herculean. It requires a lot of courage, a lot of bravery, a lot of effort from yourself, an individual. If you don't have the strength, you wouldn't be able to go. In fact, we spent approximately 2 hours climbing this hill. In fact, it's two. So there is one that you have to climb to the top and descend before you climb up again to where exactly the incident happened. And in fact, the second mountain was really steep and it wasn't easy for anybody to go. You would have to even use your stick or hold on to something before you can climb this mountain top to see or get to the scene where the incidents, where it all happened. So it's not easy at all. In fact, it's getting you approximately 2 hours to get to the site, and now you have to return with another 2 hours, and it's not easy at all. In fact, yesterday we tried our best. We went so far, but we just couldn't. It was really tiring. It was really tiring that once you get to the second mountain itself, if you don't have the proper boots to actually climb the mountain, it will really be difficult for you to go because it's really steep and it's really difficult for you to climb. Samuel.
The security service cordoned off this area after they had started evacuating the remains.
Yes, they cordoned off the area, prevented the media and even the community members from getting close to this site. And so they've cordoned the place. Once they got the body, they cordoned the place. And as we already know, just this morning, we saw some military task force also go into the forest or the scene today to gather enough material, evidence to really establish circumstances that led to this tragic incident.
I'm grateful to you and all the best. Kudos again for that wonderful work you did. That's my colleague there for that work that he did yesterday. Let me now bring in Captain Paul Kojo. He is an investigator with the Aircraft Investigative Department. Grateful to you, sir, for joining. Now, is your department part of the investigation team? Hello, Captain. Do I have you?
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Yes. So I wanted to understand whether your department is part of the investigation team that is out there to go into this particular crash.
No, we don't have the mandate for that.
Okay. But you are with the Ghana Armed Forces.
No, I'm not with the Ghana Armed Forces. I'm with the Aircraft Accident and Incident Investigation and Preventative Bureau.
So, in the event of such a crash, what procedure, should be followed in getting to the bottom of this matter?
Basically, let me clarify something first. This aircraft is a state aircraft. It's a military aircraft. The rules they fly under and so on are such that the law that establishes us, as with most countries, is such that our mandate doesn't permit us to investigate military aircraft. The military have their own processes. So these are questions you should direct to the military.
Okay. But so is it different from what you would have done if it was a non-military aircraft?
What I would say is the military have competent people. They have well-trained personnel to do these things. And they would follow pretty much, I guess, what we would do.
Okay. So if there is a crash, in the event of a crash, what procedure do you follow to investigate?
So basically, you are asking me a question which is not related to this one, to this national tragedy, but you just want to know in the generic sense.
Exactly. Yes, education.
Okay. There are basically four phases, major phases. You collect information. Then you would analyze the information. And from that, you would come up to conclusions and so on. And then you write a report. And then you disseminate the information with a view to preventing the reoccurrence of any such thing. That's putting it in a nutshell.
All right. So it means that the team that has been sent out, that is what it is supposed to do. Let me bring in a retired pilot, Captain Makioli Ofori. With the foundation we've all laid, you say that the most critical thing is the black box, right? That could help us unravel what really happened, right?
Yes, that is an important
Your
tool.
call has been put on hold. Wait to be reconnected.
Do I still have Captain Makioli?
Hello?
Yes, okay, yes. Let me hear you.
Yes. The black box is an important tool to determine exactly what happened.
We were picking, some information that this team has been on the site to gather go through the wreckage that is there. On the first day like this, what is your expectation as someone who has a lot of experience in this industry?
Oh, let me explain this. I don't have experience in aircraft accident investigation. But what I know is that the black box is an important tool in the investigation of accidents. It will be retrieved, and depending on the level of damage to it, information can be downloaded very quickly, or if it is still damaged, it will take more time to retrieve the information. So it's not something that can be unraveled in 30 days or so.
which means that with this team that is doing this work, you don't expect them to come out with some sort of finding within the next 1 month.
Generally speaking, what I know about accident investigations is that within the first 30 days, a preliminary report will come out. Then, in the next 12 months or so, the final report should come out, depending on the complexity of the investigation. But let me quickly add one thing. Captain Kojo, a highly competent pilot, who is a member of this board, has clarified something, that military aircraft investigation is left to the military. So I defer to his wisdom and knowledge in this.
Okay, so it means that the military is supposed to handle this. Let me bring in Captain Paul Forger again. Captain, so, I mean, you've given us the generality of how this looks like, and you say the military is supposed to handle this. For you, and from where you sit, what could be the earliest possible time where we could probably get to the bottom of this? Do we have Captain Forger with us? Captain, forgive us. We lost the earlier part of your submission, sir. Forgive us.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is, in fairness to the military, I believe the military should be answering these questions. It would be unfair to confer upon them timelines and so on. The military will be competent enough to answer all these questions.
And from your experience, I mean, you've given us what they have to be. I mean, the things that they have to be looking out for. We've been educated that the black box is quite an important part of this whole investigation. What shouldn't they lose sight of aside the black box?
You're trying to draw me into the actions that will be taken by an investigative body which has its own level of competence. I mean, I believe it's only fair to defer to them, and they would give the appropriate answers. I'm very sure about that.
Once, I mean, we will get them definitely. But once we haven't been able to, and you have a lot of experience in this whole investigation of an aircraft accident, we wanted to get you to educate us. So once they are there on site and are working, and we are also following up to know what is going to happen there, we want to just understand. I mean, what should they not be losing sight of, such that it will then help them have a holistic view of the whole crash? That is all I'm doing. We just want education, sir.
You see, what I'd like to say is we should trust them. They have the level of competence. They know what they're doing. Okay? So let us trust them to do their work. You know, I wouldn't like it if I was doing an investigation and I was listening on the radio and somebody was saying I shouldn't lose sight of this, I shouldn't. They are competent. They will do what they have to do.
Okay. All right. But I'm sure you followed the event after yesterday. We understand that another aircraft had an emergency landing in the central region because of bad weather. Have you also been able to apprise yourself with exactly what could have been the cause?
With that particular one, that was a civil aircraft. So that falls under our mandate, okay? What we're doing is, fortunately, there are no fatalities or anything like that. We are seeking, as I said, you collect information first. So we're in the process of getting the preliminary information we want, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. So that is the one that you are investigating.
That is the one we are looking into.
Okay.
Yes.
So is it confirmed that it was because of weather?
We're waiting for the report from them.
Okay. But they didn't give you reasons why they had a forced landing?
No, we don't have it yet.
Okay. So we might not be able to tell whether it was because of the weather yesterday that led to this whole thing.
It's a double-edged question you're asking me. Okay, let me put it this way. No.
Well, I guess you wanted to give us some education, and I was interested in it. That because of your experience, and a lot of people are saying it could be the weather, it could be that, but you probably understand, and so I want you to give us the double-edged education you wanted to give us earlier.
No, I wasn't trying to give a double edged, because at first I thought you were asking about the civil aircraft. Then I realized that your question was sort of also was talking about the military aircraft, right? That's why I said it's a double-edged thing you're asking me.
Okay.
Now, all I would say is, in fairness, whenever there's an investigation, the public obviously would speculate and so on and so forth. But those of us in the investigative field, what we do is we are only interested in facts. We don't like to speculate. Okay? That is why I kept saying to you that, in fairness, let the military do their work. They will come up with whatever. People who don't have I don't have the facts, so I can't comment.
Okay.
It would be wrong to do so.
Okay. I'm grateful to you, Captain Paul Kojo, for accommodating us today. He's an investigator with the Aircraft Investigative Department. But as we speak, we understand samples of the remains are being flown to South Africa for testing. My colleague Kenneth JC is at the airport now. Let's join him.
Minister of Interior. We also have the CID boss who was here moments ago. We've been trying to engage them, but none of them has so far decided to speak to us. But what is happening here right now is that a forensic officer from the Criminal Investigation Department has joined that particular flight to South Africa to conduct a DNA to be able to identify which body belongs to who. And of course, a high-powered delegation, which includes ministers of state, members of parliament, are all here. And we're trying to see if we can speak to a few of them. I've seen the Deputy Minister for Roads and Highways, Al-Hassan Suini, who is currently in a chit-chat there. We'll try and get closer to him and pick a word or two from him right now. So really, that's the mood here. It's been a very solemn mood since this incident happened yesterday. And of course, earlier today, the president laid flowers at the Jubilee House. There was a ceremony to honor the fallen heroes at the Jubilee House, which included the president, the vice president, the chief of staff, and other dignitaries. And of course, it is continuing here. They are sending the body to South Africa to try and conduct some forensic research to be able to identify and piece together which bodies belong to which individuals that unfortunately lost their lives. We understand that the flight will touch down in South Africa tonight, and then the audit or the forensic audit will be done to be able to match the bodies of the individuals who died sadly in the Ashanti region yesterday during that tragic incident that involved a helicopter crashing somewhere in Adanse in the Ashanti region. And as I mentioned earlier, we have the likes of the CID boss, the ministers of Interior, the health minister was here as well, deputy ministers, members of parliament. They were all here to say goodbye to the flight that has departed. And the flight did not go alone. It went with a Ghanaian delegation, which included a chief forensic auditor at the Criminal Investigation Department. So we await the results of that particular conduct that's going to be done in South Africa, and hopefully the remains will be transported back to Ghana after that exercise is concluded to see which mortal remains belong to who. And so that's the ceremony, a very brief ceremony that took place here at the VIP lounge of the Kotoka International Airport, where the mortal remains of the 8 departed Ghanaian heroes have been transported to South Africa for a DNA testing to be able to match their bodies. And since this unfortunate incident happened, we've seen a lot of condolences coming in from Ghana, outside Ghana, from the international community, from religious bodies, and even from political opponents. All of them have been pouring in many tributes, consoling the family, consoling the president, consoling Ghanaians as a whole as well. We've seen the likes of the British High Commission, the German Embassy, the French President Emmanuel Macron, and a whole lot of dignitaries, the European Union, the African Union. They've all come here, or they've all sent in their condolences to the president, the people of Ghana, and the families of the departed souls. So as we speak right now, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of them have departed, but moments ago, they were gathered here. They were gathered here waiting for the aircraft that carried the mortal remains of the 8 Ghanaians who sadly lost their lives to depart for South Africa to be able to conduct a DNA to match the bodies of the individuals who sadly lost their lives. There's heavy security presence here as we speak right now. Many people clad in black, of course, which signifies the sad event that has occurred here in our nation, Ghana. So that is it. You can see the military. The military is heavily guarding this place, of course, because Eduardo Mani-Boama was the defense minister here. So it makes a lot of sense for a lot of military personnel who have paid respects to the fallen heroes, which also included pilots from the Ghana Armed Forces, and of course other dignitaries, including the vice chairman of the National Democratic Congress, and also Mutala Mohammed, who is the Environment, Science and Technology Minister. So that is what has happened here in the last 10-15 minutes. So if you're joining us, if you're just joining us, a recap of what has happened here is that the mortal remains of the 8 Ghanaians, which included the Ministers of Defense and Environment, have been transported to South Africa. A DNA is going to be conducted on their bodies to be able to match which body to which individual, because when the incident happened, their bodies unfortunately were burnt beyond recognition. So the only way for them to be able to identify that which individual is which one is to conduct a forensic audit or a DNA testing in faraway South Africa, which we expect them to return very soon. We have a chief forensic officer from the Criminal Investigation Department, the CID, who joined them to South Africa to ensure that this exercise is as transparent as it can be. And as I mentioned earlier, some of them are Muslims, including the former environment minister, and by the customs of, or by the Muslim customs, they were supposed to have been buried today, but due to the circumstances surrounding the events which led to them losing their lives, and due to the fact that they, as we speak now, their bodies are not being able to be identified, they've all had to hold on a bit. The families of the Muslims involved, who would have wished that their loved ones would have been buried according to Islam customs, have had to hold on and wait until that DNA testing is done. So That is what has been happening here at the Kotoka International Airport in the last 20 minutes. They've been flown to South Africa to conduct a DNA testing to be able to identify their bodies. They will be returned, and all the other proceedings or procedures will continue. We were told that President John Dramani Mahama was devastated, and it was visible today when he appeared in public for the first time since this incident happened at the Flagstaff House, and earlier today two MPs from Parliament from both the NDC and MPP went to Parliament as well. The Chief of Staff, government officials were all in Parliament to pay their respects to these individuals.
So that's my colleague Kenneth Jesse coming to us from the airport where the remains have been flown to South Africa for further investigation. Evans Mensah is joining me in studio. Evans,
indeed, on that particular matter, we'll be hearing from the Interior Minister pretty shortly. He's been speaking, giving us a bit more details about what will be happening in South Africa, where the remains have now been flown to. We also know tonight that there have been a lot of activities today, the commencement of this 3 days of national mourning. The solemn candle lighting and flower laying ceremony where the President Mahama himself, the Chief of Staff, and other top government officials were visibly moved in raw emotions as they struggled to hold back tears.
So I have a personal relationship. It was one of the reasons why I accepted the offer to serve in this government. Anytime there is a program, he will call me. Look, there's a program, make sure you attend.
Murtala was scheduled to meet my son yesterday. Not today, 9:30 a.m.
Also in this bulletin, we'll tell you about the 6 others who died along with the Defense and Environment Ministers yesterday.
He likes Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. We understand very well that it is the Lord's doing. In fact, the baby is barely 2 months old, and we are trying to see how we will get around.
And how has this tragic story made headlines around the world? We have more on that.
Now, Ghana's Defense and Environment Minister have been killed in a military helicopter crash.
And we also have for you business, George.
And corporate Ghana and various business associations pay glowing tribute to the victims of the helicopter crash.
And in sports, the Ghana Football Association expressed profound sorrow over the helicopter crash.
You want to stay with us for all that here on News Night as we begin our coverage of the ongoing national days of mourning, 3 days to be very precise. And let's start with this because this is something that is developing constantly. And Kojo, we've been learning a bit more from the Ashanti Regional Minister, who is the Regional Security Council Chair, and he has been on the ground leading the team there. As far as the crash site is concerned, what else do we know?
We know that the black box, you remember this morning we were told by an expert that what is critical to this whole investigation is the black box. And so he has just announced via his Facebook page that the black box has indeed been found. So we can now categorically say that a black box, which experts say is quite vital to identifying and understanding what happened to this flight, has been found, according to the Ashanti Regional Minister.
And that is a very, very important piece of trying to unravel what really happened to this doomed Z9 helicopter that crashed in the forest there in the Ashanti region, claiming the lives of 8 people. And just as we've been speaking, and my colleague Kenneth has been telling us, at the airport, the remains have now been flown to South Africa for DNA testing.
Samples of the remains.
Exactly. We have heard from the Interior Minister, who has been giving us a bit more on this.
Let's start by thanking the Almighty God for all He's done for us, and thanking Ghanaians and all world wishers across the world for being with us and supporting us and having our back in prayers and all that in this most critical moment in our country's history. It is the first time we are having this kind of tragedy. And as you may all know, we are grateful to God that we were able to retrieve all the bodies. And they were brought up in Accra last night, as you all know. But to speed up the investigation, obviously, we need to do further examination and investigation just for the avoidance of doubt. And some of the forensic that needs to be done, taking samples, how to be done outside the country. So that's why we are trying to fast track, and you see all that. We know that this evening the President will address the country and the world. So we hope that we'll all be patient and wait for the President's address. I want to thank the families sincerely for all the cooperation that we've had from them and the support they've shown. We know they are grieving, they are in a hurry to have their family members so that they can attend them. But we are happy that they are cooperating with us because it's not just about burying. It's beyond burying, trying to establish what happened, how things went, so that we avoid it into the future. So we want to thank the family for all the support. And together with the Health Minister, the Minister for Lands, who is now acting as the Defense Minister, we've been working around the clock just to speed up everything. And this is part of the process. So we are hoping that this will, when the President addresses the country, other further better particulars will be given. Thank you so much.
And that there is Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak, who led the team to the Kojo International Airport to see off the remains as they were flown to South Africa, where testing will be done on the remains. We're expecting them back. We have no clarity yet as how long this will take, but we will try and get you further and better particulars on that.
Well, earlier this afternoon, the ceremonial gardens in front of the Jubilee House transformed into a sea of sorrow as Ghanaians gathered for a candlelight and flower laying ceremony to honor the 8 lives lost in the tragic helicopter crash. The atmosphere was heavy with grief as Ghanaians recalled unforgettable memories of the departed. Heart-wrenching stories, tears, and deep grief filled the air as a nation collectively mourned the passing of these remarkable individuals. President John Mahama, the Chief of Staff, and several top government officials were visibly overcome with emotion, struggling to hold back tears as they paid their respects to the fallen leaders. Presidential Affairs correspondent Maxwell Adbadba has more on this report.
It was a regular day at the presidency. The presidential press corps was preparing to depart for the Pentecost Convention Center at Gomoafete in the Central Region, where the president was expected to attend the Assemblies of God's first National Pastors and Spouses Retreat. But at exactly 12:35 p.m., everything changed. A message came through. The president would no longer be attending. Back at the Jubilee House, the atmosphere shifted instantly. Officials walked silently through the corridors, all on their phones, not talking to one another, but making frantic calls. At 1:30 p.m., an emergency press conference was announced. Then came the shocking words from Chief of Staff Julius Debra.
I have the unpleasant duty, sadly, to announce a national tragedy involving the crash of a military helicopter this morning around the Adansi area in Ashanti region.
What followed was a wave of grief that swept through the government and the nation. NDC Vice Chairman Chief Sofu Azoka was visibly shaken. He had just lost his Member of Parliament, the Minister for Environment, in the incident. But through the grief, he held on to the values they shared.
All of them. Mutale is my brother. It's my MP, Tamale Central. So, bro, may them rest in peace.
Tamale South MP Haruna Idrisu said the president was emotionally broken.
President is down emotionally. We pray that God will give him the fortitude and the Ghanaian people to accept this tragic loss.
Honorable Felix Kwachi Ufusu is my dear brother, friend, and very good.
Just days ago, on 21st July, at the presidency, the Minister for Defense stood tall at the Government Accountability Series, laying out his ambitious vision for the armed forces. But today, that dream lies in ruins, shattered by a cruel twist of fate.
As we stand at the threshold of a new era, the Mahama second coming, and resetting Ghana, let us remember that our strength lies in not just our arms, but in our unity, our resilience, and our unwavering commitment to Ghana's progress. Today, we have outlined a vision for a modernized, industrialized, and inclusive defense sector.
No, Shatta is good. I listen to his music. I like reggae.
Yeah.
Me like reggae.
You're a reggae person.
But raga, dancehall, they're all chaff of reggae.
Yeah.
I speak Patois very, very well.
Hey, you know,
no, very, no, I wouldn't.
Among those lost was Murtala Muhammad, a man known in political circles as fierce and unyielding. But beyond the hardened exterior, he had a tender side, one not many got to see. In a past interview, he spoke of his love for languages, proudly revealing that he could speak fluent Patois.
I chat Patois lingua. I love blue people, them chat Patois lingua. Me say, I'm an Arasta. I love blue people, them Arasta. Me not got a dreadlocks, me not take a hula hem, me not take a wisdom whip.
The nation mourns, the flag flies at half-mast, and the corridors of power are filled not with politics, but with pain, reflection, and remembrance.
And Maxwell Ogaba joins me right now. And Maxwell, we're expecting the president to be speaking later tonight. Tell us more.
Exactly, Evans. So we have indication from the presidency that there'll be an address this evening, but what we are not certain of is the time. And sources at the presidency tell us that because of the way the situation, is, things keep changing. So scheduled events remain fluid. So while it is under consideration, whilst it will take place tonight, we are not certain of the time. That the media is still here, the presidential press corps is still here, waiting to bring our listeners up to speed on whatever that will be happening here at the presidency. But yes, indeed, there'll be an address this evening, but we do not have confirmation of the time that the address will be taking place around.
And you were at the flower laying ceremony today. The mood was pretty somber. I saw the president appears to shed a tear, but the Chief of Staff, Julius Debla, was completely uncontrollable. Give us a sense of the mood there.
Evans, as the trumpet sounded solemnly through the ceremonial gardens here at the Jubilee House, many people who gathered couldn't control their emotions. Like you mentioned, the president appeared visibly emotional, at times wiping away tears. The vice president and chief of staff also struggled to contain their emotions. Government appointees, party executive, members of parliament, and ordinary Ghanaians who gathered here in a united show of respect and mourning also couldn't contain their emotions. Now, as part of the ceremony, flowers were laid and candles lit in memory of the 8 people. I spoke to the 2024 flag bearer of the PNC, Bernard Mona, who shared a deeply personal moment, revealing that his son had been scheduled to present an idea to the environment minister, the late Murtala Muhammad, and he was supposed to do that today. But he said, it never happened. So we can listen to Bernard Mona now.
I called the Minister for Defense at exactly 6:45 a.m. because we were scheduled to have a meeting. When my national chairman had indicated to me that he has been to his office and the man wanted to have a meeting. So the meeting was scheduled to happen yesterday and he could not respond. Later, I would hear news that helicopter crashed. Then I said, this man messaged that he was going to represent the president somewhere. Could he be in the helicopter? But I took it that it's not possible. Only to wake up to reality that indeed it happened, that he was in the helicopter alongside my good friend and brother Murtala. I was so disrupted that I forgot myself. I have worked with them both when we were student leaders. I contested Omani alongside John Kuma and NS for local national NUCS presidency, and Omani won. Being the person that he is, he rallied all the other contestants and made us to support his leadership of the student movement. And everybody can attest that his regime as student leader served well because he did not throw away the people that he contested with. So I was instrumental, John Kuma was instrumental, NS, and we all contributed to making him and his office succeed. In the CJA that I was a founding member, we will later draft Omani Boama to come and join, and Murtala Mohammed also to join. So we worked together in the Committee for Joint Action. I have worked with them, as I said, and these two gentlemen, virtually of my age, I can say that they died without being corrupt, that they died and they would not have taken any dime from anybody for their good rather than for the good of humanity. Dedicate yourself to the good of society, because Omani Boama had difficult beginnings. I do know Murtala had difficult beginnings, just as some ones of us who had very terrible beginnings. And so, because of our background of austerity in growth, we thought that serving public interest is the way to. See, my son, where is Maliri? Murtala was scheduled to meet my son yesterday, no, today 9:30 a.m. for a presentation that they have plastic waste and also on STEM education. So they had prepared to come and meet, because Tuesday he was supposed to meet them last week and they didn't come on. They were ready to meet him and they didn't. And I have said at many platforms, possibly if Omani had picked my call yesterday, given our connection, he would have requested that I join him in the flight so that we can have a conversation. When he's done, then we can talk and come back. God decided that he should go. So in terms of integrity, service to nation, they have distinguished themselves.
And we learned more, Maxwell, about the other personal connections with some high-profile individuals, including the political science lecturer and CEO of the Ghana Shippers Authority, Professor Ransford Jampo. What did he tell you?
So he revealed to me that the defense minister was instrumental in encouraging him to take up a role in government. He told me that he had supervised the dissertation of the late Environment Minister Murtala Mohammed during his academic journey at the University of Ghana, and he earned his doctorate just last year.
I spoke to Omani Boama 3 days today on phone. Last week there was a program here at the Flagstaff House giving orientation to newly appointed CEOs, and he came to speak to us. Afterwards, I had an engagement with him because there were some of the things that he was telling, he said there that I thought didn't apply to me, so I went to engage him. And beyond that, I've had a long-standing relationship with him. He's a personal medical doctor to one of my children that I thought was going to die. The boy is 18 years old now, but 6 months after his birth, he was always sick. I met Dr. Omani Boama, who was a medical doctor, taking care of the boy. And he assured me that so long as God lives, and so long as he remains a professional medical doctor, the boy will live. And so every year when the boy is celebrating his birthday, I'll take a picture, send to him, telling him that this is your son. So this year, June, I sent him a picture, and we will be laughing about it. He will be telling me that the boy has a brighter future and all that. So I have a personal relationship. He was one of the reasons why I accepted the offer to serve in this government. Anytime there's a program, he will call me. Look, there's a program, make sure you attend. And when you go, make sure the old man sees you. I said, but I don't like that. I mean, a lot of people would want to go greet the then candidate Mahama after the program, and I usually would want to say, no, make sure he sees you. And he keeps talking to me about some of these things. He kept talking to me about some of these things and all that. It's a great strategist, very smart, very intelligent, very resilient, strong-willed person. And above all, he's a human being, or a Nipa. So I'm very much pained. We assisted and supervised the PhD dissertation of Murtala. I was one of his supervisors. I later became the lead supervisor of his dissertation. And he completed last year, graduated last year, producing one of the best dissertations, PhD dissertations in the political science department. A very kind-hearted person. Samuel Sampong always called and texted that we need to meet. There is a discussion I want to have with you, but it's for the future. Kept telling me there's something he wants to discuss with me for the future, but both of us never made the time. Yesterday I heard he was also part of it. So the 3 people that I know amongst the 8, and I'm very much pained. I've not been able to sleep.
And Maxwell, also speaking to you was the Deputy CEO of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Gilbert Agre. We know him as Abeku Santana. He shared with you his own childhood memories with Dr. Manibwama.
Yes, Evans. He shared fond childhood memories, revealing that their families were close and knew each other well. He said although they attended different schools, Dr. Manibwama consistently encouraged him to take an interest in politics, playing a quiet but influential role in shaping his public life.
Through social media, we were in a staff debate meeting when I saw the news trickling in on social media. I didn't want to believe it because this day and age, people can post stuff. Until I saw the chief of staff addressing the press and announcing that the tragedy or the accident is true.
Did you have the opportunity to interact with any of the people we've lost?
All of them.
All of them? 8 of them?
Not the military officers, but the government appointees, all of them. Honorable Manibwama is my mate. We both grew up from Koforidua. We all completed 6 from the same year. He was in Pojos, I was in Ghana's. But beyond that, we were very close. I know his mother. His mother is my mother's friend. We all grew up together. And his father was the Central Regional Birth and Death Officer. Yeah. So when I was in Cape Coast during my O-level, when I ran out of money, I go to his father. So Kofi and I, we are brothers. Before politics, before we entered the university. So, whenever I see him, Kofi, Abeku, then we talk, we chat, so the memories of our, childhood, beginning. I remember when he was a mass server of Reverend Father Gabriel Pamabako at the St. George's Parish Cathedral in Koforidua in the 80s. He was a mass server, and I'm a Methodist. So we know ourselves. We all come from Koforidua. We grew up together. Like I said, his mother is my friend. She worked at the ministry, I think land valuation. So I know him very well before he even came to politics. So I was traumatized. I was just thinking about possibility that he has escaped and he's hurt until the confirmation. I still can't believe it.
So Evans, in the northern region where Alhaji Murtala Mohammed, the former environment minister, represented the people of Tamale Central in Parliament, there has been an outpouring of grief. Our northern regional correspondent, Martina Bugri, joins me with more from the area. Martina, tell us the mood there.
It's a mood of gloom, sadness, and dejection. People, you're all raking over their faces. Normally you will find people talking in funerals, but today it's a different thing. Yesterday, people were beginning to accept the fact that hate no more. Today, it's really sunk in, and then you see it written in people's faces. The shock. People were hoping that something else will come out, but it's like they have accepted it finally that hate's no more. I spoke to some close friends, and they had so much to say about him, all good things he's done.
Station in Tamale with regards to when they expect the Islamic burial to take place.
Yes, so I spoke to a family member and he says that any other ceremony they are supposed to do, like the 3-day Adwa, which should have happened tomorrow, would all be on hold until the body is brought in, laid to rest before they can have any other ceremony. And so for now, all they are doing is just wait for the final decision by government dispatching the body to them.
Okay, thank you very much, Martina Bukri, our Northern Regional Correspondent, with that update. Evans, we can now go to the Western Region, where the Minister, Joseph Nelson, has officially announced the death of Flying Officer Chuman Pedu to the family. Now, Chuman Pedu, until his demise, was stationed at the Takrady Air Force Base. His wife, Lieutenant Irajua Kumitreme, served as a psychologist at the 2nd Garrison Western Naval Command in Sekondi. Natalia Kwanzaa was with him and joins us with details. Natalia, bring us up to speed on what the minister has been saying.
So the minister says that all 3 crew members on the helicopter were based at the Takrady Air Force Base. He went there to commiserate with the Naval Command and then particularly Lieutenant Irajua. Let's listen to what he has been saying.
I'm here because one of the crew members' wife is also a naval officer, so I had to come here to commiserate with them. There are 2 others who are not in the jurisdiction now. We are making an effort to locate them so we can go commiserate with them. So we've come here just to see the wife of one of the crew members, to comfort her. I told you, Flight Officer Pedro. And so that's basically why we are here. It's a very difficult time we are in. We're struggling to find the right kind of words to even say something. Say something refreshing, you know. All we can say is that may God strengthen the families. I can't even, because you can't imagine how these families are feeling now. I mean, even for the rest of us, how difficult it is to try to put words together. To think that our sister here, to see her in this state, the others, Dr. Manuwame's family, Mutada's family, Tasapon, all of these people. I mean, you set out in the day to go serve your nation. You don't return. What a day this has been.
Well, Natalia, we know that the Flag Officer Commandant, Western Naval Command, Samuel Agalezano, described the impact of the incident on the command and the wife. What more did he tell you?
Well, he says this has been a shocking news for them. They weren't expecting this, and they are doing their best to help the wife who is being affected the most. We can listen to him.
Today has been described as a sad Wednesday for the whole of Ghana. This garrison has not been spared. It's a really sad day for us as a garrison. When I heard the news myself, I was shocked. And I'm sure the same feeling is what you felt when you heard the news. Our sister here is not in the best of shapes. We are all bereaved, but she, I believe, is more hurt because our brother is involved in this sad incident. We are doing our best to console her, but for the regional minister, the garrison commander, and all of you, DGRA, all of you to come to help us console her, we very much appreciate it.
Well, earlier, my colleague Jacqueline Ansuma-Yeboah visited the residences of the late Dr. Edward Omane-Boama, and also, Mutala Mohammed.
Yeah, Pearl.
And
so
you spoke to a number of government officials there. Tell us who you spoke to.
All right. So I spoke to the Attorney General who was there. He was visibly shook. He nearly cried during the interview. I think let's listen to the sound now.
If there was anyone in Parliament that we could count on to speak the truth and to be honest and straightforward, he was one of them. Not only was he God, this is really very difficult. In our politics, integrity is a very rare commodity. Extremely rare. But this young man had it all. He loved this country. He loved the NDC as a political tradition. He spoke truth to power, and that is what we need. And Ghana has not only lost a rare commodity in our politics, in the person of the Honorable Mutala, but only someone who is also at the same time very patriotic. And for me, it was his commitment to do the right thing that stands out very clearly for me. Anytime he rose on his feet, he took on the system and made sure that he spoke his mind on every aspect. I remember distinctly at caucus meetings, he would storm out because he thought that we're on the wrong path. And many a times, I agreed with him. Sometimes we would go back and listen to what he said, and we realized that he was telling us the truth. So for me, it is extremely difficult to think of a situation where I will no longer hear his voice in Parliament. But I'm very sure that he has left, even in this short political career, the Honorable Murtala Mohammed has left an indelible mark. And I'm just hoping that as we go along, we will continue to bear in mind some of the things that he fought for and then continue from there. As I said, he was a rare person in our politics because of the fact that he exuded integrity and honesty in everything that he did.
So, Evans, we just had the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayini. Well, Jacqueline also spoke to other people.
Yeah. So I also spoke to Rashid Pelpo, who was also there. He shared his fondest memories about Dr. Mutala.
He was a former student leader, and I was a former student leader. And I was invited along with him so we could help them develop their own program for the oncoming year, and to have pep talks with them. It was a great occasion, and he spoke so well, and I was so impressed. And when I got up to speak, I said, after he spoke, I thought that it would have ended it all, because he is a great soul. He is a man who is a friend to everybody. He speaks his truth. He doesn't mince words about what he believes in. He's committed to what he believes in. And as a member of our party, he showed that he could criticize at both ends when things are not right. And I first met him when I was a minister for youth and sports. And he came forward, applied for a job, and I gave him the job. And since then, we became good friends until we both entered Parliament, at different times. So I got to know him for his truth talk and his dire desire to see things move well in Ghana. He believes in democracy, but he believes that he's a social democrat, and he calls himself comrade, and that's what he wants to be referred to. He wanted to be referred to. And I was so impressed with him when he told me, Honorable, I'm following you. You have become a PhD. I will also become a PhD. And he got it this year. So I just pray for him. It's a very terrible moment for Ghana. It is the worst moment we have experienced in peacetime in Ghana, when he and Dr. Omane Boama died together in a very terrifying condition, and the rest of them who also died. We pray for them, and we hope that such a thing will not happen in Ghana anymore, by the grace of our Almighty God.
And Jacqueline, there is more. Who else was there?
Yeah, so Pearl, the chief imam, was there to pray with the family. We also saw Rashid Tanko. We also saw the MP for Ladade Kotopon, and a lot more, Baba Sadiq. I mean, they all kept trooping into the house of Dr. Mutala. Then after that, they go to Dr. Omane Boama's residence.
Well, thank you very much, Jackie, and you can find all that and more on our social media handles. Everybody else who visited the homes where Jackie was. I want to take you to the Savannah region now, where the regional minister has been tasked to deliver the formal, heartbreaking message to the family of Haji Elimina Muniru, who also died in the plane crash. I want to bring in my correspondent there, Isaac Nonya. Isaac, what did he tell the family?
Well, he told the family that despite the earlier information that after the DNA test, the body will be conveyed to the family to be buried because he's a 2000 nominee, government has changed its mind in the sense that after they have conducted DNA research from South Africa, government had decided to bury all the remains of all the 8 victims in Accra with a national honor to all of them. The family will receive the information and I said they will process it together with the traditional chief in the area and then get back to government. So that's what's happening now.
And what was the reaction to that?
The reaction was the calm demeanor and some surprise written on their faces because they were told earlier on that their late remains will be brought to them for the necessary rituals as a traditional ruler and then a Muslim, only to be told later on that they will not see the remains of their late relatives.
All that happens, we must give praises and thanks to Almighty Allah. And may Allah also grant them Jannah to Firdaus. Alhaji Limuna Muniru, like we all know, is a very religious person, a philanthropist, a God-fearing person whom everybody in this constituency look up to.
On Tuesday, the 5th of August, at about 11:55 p.m., I had the last discussion on chat, WhatsApp chats, regarding our plans for him to visit Yagbora and other paramount chiefs to convey his thanks to them and also the information of his new role as acting deputy national security coordinator.
I know Dr. Alhaji Mutala has been, somebody that I have known. The mother comes from Dampia. So it so happens that, it became so terrible for me yesterday. I really didn't. But going back to Alhaji Muniru, as I said, we have had a very long relation. Now, tomorrow, he would have been in Damango, maybe today or tomorrow, but I know he would have been in Damango tomorrow. There is a program that we have to do, and I never knew he was part of the program. I knew he was coming to Damango, but it was just this morning when the program was cancelled that the people told me, oh, Chief, the program is not coming on again.
When peace
We're expecting the president to be addressing the nation later tonight. When we get clarity on when exactly, we will bring that to you. And if you're just joining us, the latest coming out from the Kojo International Airport, as confirmed by the Interior Minister, is that the remains have now been flown to South Africa for DNA analysis. There's no clarity yet when the remains will return for the burial to happen. George Yafe is joining me right now, and Pearl with the very latest from the world of business, and the business community has also been sharing the condolences.
Yeah, they've not been left out of this. They've expressed their deepest condolence and then trying to console the family, those who've lost. And if you follow some of them on their various social media channels, they've done various themes in trying to honor these persons that we've lost in this country. But even another very interesting thing is that, these are times when we need to pray for the families. I mean, you need to lose a loved one to appreciate what they are going through right now. No matter the state honor, the money would actually bring back these persons that even they have lost. Well, coming up in business, corporate Ghana and various business associations pay glowing tribute to victims of the helicopter crash. Meanwhile, some institutions have moved to postpone the planned events and programs to honor the victims, as Bank of Ghana, for instance, reschedules its CD at 60 national program that was expected to come on tomorrow. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all your office essentials, Sintex tanks and Pepsodent, Herbal and Charcoal.
It's your day off and you end up looking after the baby while your wife goes off to work. You realize you have no idea how to change a diaper, so you video call your wife.
Hello, darling.
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Kojo, is everything all right?
Everything is not all right. I'm not seeing Topo. How do I change a baby's diaper, please?
Kojo. Okay, first, put the diaper.
The video call freezes. While you wait for the internet to catch up, the baby sprouts a fountain and wets the diaper. As you are getting a new one, your wife comes back online.
Kojo, no.
But I have to go and get a new diaper. What must I do next? I beg, quick.
Open the front of the diaper. It's the side that has...
Wow, look, the video freezes again. Abba.
By now, you know where the conversation is going. There's no buffering in real life, so why accept it from your internet connection? Get connected and experience ultra-fast internet to your home, powered by MTN Fiber Broadband. From the Internet Masters.
MTN, everywhere you go. Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Tema near Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
The Global Conference on Human Resources in Africa returns this August 13th to 16th. Join HR thought leaders, business executives, and technology enthusiasts for a 4-day immersive experience at the Kempinski Hotel. This year, we welcome back Johnny C. Taylor Jr., CEO and President of SHRM, Emily M. Dickens, Chief of Staff, and we welcome Andy Belado, SHRM CTO, and Nicole Herskowitz, Corporate VP of Microsoft 365 and Copilot. Of course, we are joined by our very own Dr. Francis Aduku, CEO of CIHRM Ghana, Honorable Dr. Abdul Rashid Palpua, Minister for Labor, Jobs and Employment Ghana, and many other global trailblazers. Attend and earn SHRM PDCs and CPDs from IHRM and HRMAU. For more information, visit gchrafrica.com or call plus 233-55408-1727. GCHRA is organized by KUSI Consultant and powered by SHRM. Sponsors and partners include Kempinski Hotel, CIHRM Ghana, IHRM Kenya, HRMAU Uganda, AHRPL Liberia, Adansi Travel, Senrap Consult, ICS Africa, Rwanda Air, and more to be announced. See you there.
Big news! Star Oil is now the largest oil marketing company in Ghana.
Wow, that's huge!
huge! Yes, so the largest distributor of petroleum products in Ghana. Ever since I switched to Star Oil, my car runs smoother. The fuel lasts longer, no strange engine sound, just clean, powerful performance.
Oh, same here. I used to refill every 3 days until I switched to Star Oil. Now, my fuel lasts way longer. I don't know what magic is inside, but my car loves it.
Exactly. It's not magical. From Accra to Kumasi to Tamale, Star Oil day everywhere with 240 filling stations and counting. That's why more Ghanaians are choosing Star Oil.
Hey, my tank is almost empty. I am heading to Star Oil right now before the queue starts.
I'm right behind you, Amma.
We set out with a mission to serve better and lead boldly. We're proud to say we are Ghana's #1 oil marketing company. To our loyal Star savers across the country, thank you for believing in us. Star Oil, quality and affordable fuels for all.
Cavity protection.
This advert is FDA approved.
Every mosquito standing run away. Oh, come on, tonton preko. Sasso, me se come tonton preko. Oh, come on, tonton preko. Sasso, come tonton preko. Nani shamne die demonstronko.
This advert is FDA approved.
You welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, corporate Ghana and various business associations are paying glowing tribute to victims of the helicopter crash. The following report highlights some of the messages coming from these firms and institutions.
Let's first start with the Ghana Chamber of Mines, which in a statement maintained that it is their hope that the death of these gallant citizens will not end up in vain. The Chamber argued that the true respect that one can pay to them is how we work hard to end illegal and irresponsible mining in the country. The Ghana Association of Banks also in a statement maintained that the banking industry stands with the nation in mourning the tragic loss of these distinguished public servants and professionals. The Association of Ghana Industries, for instance, recounts their engagement with the Deputy Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Dr. Murtala Mohammed, at the Industrial Summit earlier this year, and even his contribution to the association and the sector. Telecom giant MTN in a statement expressed their condolence to the victims. Its chief executive, Stephen Blewett, called on all citizens to honor the memories of those who have passed with dignity and respect. The Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana, on their part, maintained that the victims are not just leaders and professionals, but pillars of service and dedication to the country. Oil marketing giant Goyle described the victims as persons who served with purpose and distinction. Most of these firms have also come up with several themes on their social media platforms expressing their condolences to the families of these victims.
And that is the business desk report. Meanwhile, several institutions have moved to postpone planned events and programs in honor of these victims. The Bank of Ghana, for instance, has postponed its CD at 60 national program that was supposed to have taken place that is tomorrow, has been postponed. The program is expected to herald activities that was supposed to celebrate the CD's 60th anniversary in the country. Now, Gothos Ghana has raised concerns about key issues in the country's mining laws and need for attention by Ghana and government to attract the needed investment into the sector. Vice President of External Affairs at Gothos and President of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Michael Akafia, said that this during a courtesy call on the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority.
We know that the government has given indication of an attempt to overhaul
the Minerals and Mining Law. And so far, some of the amendment proposals we've seen, we believe that we are duty-bound to draw government's attention to certain issues of concern. One of the key ones has to do with security of tenure. And because the mining industry, by its nature, and you mentioned the extractive industry, capital-intensive, highly risky, and then also long-term in nature, it is important to ensure that there is security of tenure for investors. And we point out that this is not only good for foreign investors, but even good for also Ghanaian investors, because the average turnaround time for a project starting from greenfield to production ranges between 15 years and 20 years.
And that's the Vice President, External Affairs at Goldfields and President of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Michael Akafia. And on the PM Express Business Edition tonight, we will be engaging the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority on issues with respect to revenue and some challenges that is hitting them and how they are trying to get around it at 9 p.m. tonight on Joy News and all our social media platforms at 9 p.m. tonight.
Thank you very much, George. Daniel Cranting is here with sports. And Daniel, we have postponed indefinitely our Joy Sports Invitational Tournament.
Yeah, we have. The multimedia group has indefinitely postponed the 2025 Joy Sports Invitational Tournament, which was scheduled for this Saturday. In a joint statement signed by Fifi Kumsin, General Manager Joy Brands, and David Max Fuga, General Manager Sales and Customer Service, the group said the decision was made in solidarity with the bereaved families and in respectful observance of the national mood. The new date will be communicated in due time. Also, the Ghana Football Association has expressed its profound sorrow and extends condolences to the government of Ghana and the families of the victims of the fatal helicopter crash which claimed the lives of Defense Minister Dr. Edward Omani-Boamah and Environment Minister Dr. Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed and 6 others. The GFA in a statement said they mourned the nation's collective grief and pay tribute to the dedication and service of all the gallant men who perished in the line of duty. That's all for sports. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Daniel. So live on News Night on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, following the tragic military helicopter crash that we now know claimed the lives of 8 Ghanaians, including 5 high-ranking government officials and 3 crew members, the story has made headlines around the world.
Now, events from Reuters in the United States to the BBC in London and across outlets in France, Nigeria, Kenya, India, and even Saudi Arabia, the global media is reporting about the incident.
Flags are flying at half-mast in Ghana after the death of its ministers of defense and the environment and 6 others who were involved in a helicopter crash in the country's southern Ashanti region.
On France 24, Ghana in mourning after the country's ministers of defense and the environment were both killed in a military helicopter crash.
Ghana said Wednesday that Defense Minister Edward Omani-Boamah was among those killed in a helicopter crash earlier that day.
Now, Ghana's Defense and Environment Minister have been killed in a military helicopter crash.
A helicopter crash in Ghana has killed all 8 people on board.
This is the wreckage of the military aircraft which crashed in the southern Ashanti region on Wednesday.
A military helicopter crashed in Ghana late on Wednesday.
This has gone global with the international wires all covering the tragedy that we've all been plunged into.
And of course, we'll leave you with sounds from reactions since yesterday's incident.
The Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Alhaji Muniru Mohammed Lemonad, Acting Deputy National Security Coordinator and former Minister for Food and Agriculture, Dr. Samuel Sapon, Vice Chairman of the National Democratic Congress, and Mr. Samuel Abuaji, a former parliamentary candidate. Squadron Leader Peter Bafemi Anala, Flying Officer Manin Chum Ampedu, and Sergeant Ernest Ado Mensah.
I can confirm to you that what you saw a while ago in those sacks are the remains of senior officers that were involved in the crash.
The 4th bearer party is now ready to receive the 4th cup.
President is
down emotionally. We pray that God will give him the fortitude and the Ghanaian people to accept this tragic loss.
I mourn Dr. Omani Boama, boldness and daringness in seeking to transform the Ghana Armed Force.
Actually, I was described as a very intelligent guy. You are sad. You have to give everything to Almighty Allah.
It's really tragic. The baby is barely 2 months old, and in fact, the wife is alone in the UK. They are trying to see how they will get her around.
We have such a remarkable safety record, so for us to lose 8 souls like that, it's really sobering.
Usually when people perish in this manner, the bodies will be sent to the morgue and then experts will be called. In fact, the process, it takes quite some time, but it shouldn't be, more than a month or that.
But we pray to the Almighty that He who has given us a heavy burden will grant all of us the strength to walk the path.
Raise up the families that have lost so much to you, Lord. And we pray that your Holy Spirit, who is the only comforter worthy of comforting at this time, comfort them, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Small money day, big money day, way too much money day. Telecel Too Much Money promo drop. If for dial *500#, then join them for the Telecel Too Much Money promo inside. You will win 100 Ghana cedis cash for the daily draws, 20,000 Ghana cedis for the weekly draws, then 1.2 million Ghana cedis for the grand draw inside. That be 1.2 million Ghana cedis. You for just reload airtime, then get points if it make you win. Make you dial *500# or go the Telecel Play app top. Then book inside riders give the Telecel Too Much Money promo. Terms and conditions apply.
Telecel,